what's up, Next Level Coach? Welcome to the final video, the 4-part video series for the Raging Tiger Method. And in this video, we're going to detail and break down the Gandhi principle. So I know all you guys are super excited to have this revealed. It's going to be amazing. Just super quick as a caveat, we've already established, of course, you are a legitimate coach. You may be ICF certified or you've done the work yourself. You get amazing results for your clients and you go out and absolutely crush it. So pending that, now you can apply the Gandhi principle. So first of all, in the book Good to Great by Jim Collins, he said if you want to be an amazing company, something beyond the status quo, you need to have a core set of values or core set of principles that is going to be the same for the next 100 years. Not a decade, but for 100 years. Absolutely fascinating to think about.
So think about this as well. It's like the impact that you're creating, we always hear the word legacy, but what does that really mean? You know, take a step back for a second and realize that me, James, and you, every single human being, their time will come. And the fact of the matter is, when that day happens, what do you want to experience? What do you want the world to feel? Has the world been left a better place? And I think the answer across the board is we all want to make it better by the time that we're out of here. And so when you think about the long term, 100 years, you can really start to get into the picture what you truly want. And if you look at people like the Gandhi, or the Gandhi, but if you look at people like Martin Luther King and these other remarkable figures that we all remember, the question is, why do we remember them? And the answer is they've all had a vision. You know, if you think about your business and the impact that you want to have in any area or industry that you're in, sacred sexuality, health and fitness for entrepreneurs, business coaching, whatever your vision is, these people had that vision and they realized it. But they didn't start off as these big figures. They started off where nobody knew them. But because of the Gandhi principle and these key things that we're about to share with you, they were able to not just impact their life, not just have influence over the close ones to them, not just in their clients' lives, but over the entire world. So what I want to invite you to do, and what we want to invite you to do, is to just dream for a second and realize, yes, we're going to help you build your coaching business, and yes, everything that we shared with you so far can allow you to make great income, but we also want to have great impact. So rather than just looking at today's leaders, we found literally Gandhi, studied him, and found how you can apply these principles to have not just influence in your life, but those around you and ultimately humanity. So
the Raging Tiger Method is amazing to go to 6 figures in 60 days, but the Gandhi principle is the X factor for you to live a legacy and to go far, far beyond. And so what we did here is we actually looked at this and we said, how does this apply to coaching? How does this apply to you? And when you think about this vision that Alexander's talking about, I want you to start to get serious and to think about, what are you so dedicated towards that you would sacrifice almost anything for? Like, what is your message? What are you here to do? What are you here on this planet to go and influence and make change? And what do you stand for and what do you stand against? And what are you going to show up and be super passionate for? It's going to get you fired up and it's going to get all this amazing influence around you, but people just want to follow you because they want to see that change come to fruition because you're so strong and so passionate about that. And before we get into that, we need to get into the backstory of Gandhi. We're going to break that down a little bit further. Did you say something? You want to say something?
Oh, go for it. Yeah, I was just going to say, Gandhi had his story, but I feel like, you can share that and I'll share my story.
Yeah, so we'll break down the Gandhi story and then we'll get into something how Alexander can relate. All right, so getting into Gandhi's story. So Gandhi didn't actually come out as a change agent. He didn't come out the womb like born to change the world, So he actually started off, he practiced as a lawyer. He grew up in India. He went to the UK to study law. And then he went at 24 years old to South Africa where he went to practice law. And over there, he really started to feel a lot of social injustice, a lot of discrimination for not being white, for being Indian. And it continued to get worse and worse to the point where it boiled up when he was on a train ride and he was in first class and he had to give up his seat for a European. And when he refused, the train driver dragged him out of the train and started stoning him to the point where Gandhi said, "This is outrageous. Enough is enough. I will not stand for this. I stand for social justice and equal rights for everyone." And this was his turning point, which changed his entire life, and his movement started for social justice. So what is your turning point? What is the point where you say enough is enough? We'll get to Gandhi in a second, but I know Alexander's got a personal story of his own.
Yeah, and the reason I'm sharing this story with you is think about your personal story for a second, that moment in your life where everything changed and enough was enough. For me, it had gotten to the point to where literally my health my wealth, my relationships, if it was a game and there was 1 out of 10, I would be at 0, 0, 0. And I was so upset at myself, so angry. I remember looking at myself in the mirror saying, either I'm gonna continue down this path and it's only gonna get worse, or this is the moment where I change it all. And I said, okay, you know what, Alexander? Now's the time. And I made that decision. I drew the sand in the line. I was so furiated, I was done, and I committed to mastering health because I knew that that was the one thing that I had the most control over. If I can master me, then I can master the other areas of my life. That's exactly what I did. 2016, it was totally cliche. It was after New Year's. I just started meeting influencers. The universe began to transpire. And that's the beautiful thing when you're so committed and so convicted about what you want in your life, this message, that it fuels other people and they feel it. I met Ty Lopez. He introduced me to some of his friends, who then introduced me to Russell Brunson, who then introduced me to my now mentor. And when you look at all the synchronicities of life and how it comes, it's from being very intentional about your work. And this is the power of getting clear on your message is, yes, the hustle is good and the doing is great, but just realize that so much more is at play when you're clear about what you stand for.
Alright, that's awesome, thank you. So back to Gandhi super quick. So in 1915 he went back to India and now he was like super fired up. He actually got arrested 6 different times while he was in South Africa over a 20-year period. And he came back to India with the goal of creating an independent India. At the time it was ruled by the British. And so he did a lot of things around fasting and non-violent campaigns, civil disobedience type of campaigns. And one of the key iconic moments was what was called the Salt March. And this was a 23-day hike from the cities out to the ocean. And it was hundreds of thousands of people marching against the social injustice that the British rule were bringing on the Indians for taxing salt. Indians use a lot of salt and they were taxing it. And so with hundreds of thousands of people marching, thousands of people being arrested, and the British being highlighted and showing all the social injustice, it really brought this huge shift and change around the world where everyone realized how ridiculous the British were being. And it basically created this huge shift in momentum and led to the ultimate point in 1947 when India became its own separate country. And what I want you to invite and start to think about is like, what is that moment for you where not only you saying, like Alex said, what do I stand for? Like, what do I stand against? What is time for enough is enough? What is a significant event you're going to do to put down to really move this event forward and create this X factor which moves you to becoming an icon? Alright, so that's a little bit about Gandhi, and hopefully you guys will be able to use some of those things as we talk about this. But Alexander's now going to talk about a few different quotes from Gandhi that can apply towards this, and then we're going to break down 4 key parts of the Gandhi principle and how you can apply it towards your business.
So the first quote by Gandhi is a famous quote that you all know. And when you think about my story, when 2016 I just dove into health and I got my coach and he trained me in how to eat, how to be healthier, I changed myself, and the craziest thing is my family started being healthier. My aunt dropped 40 pounds. My friends started putting on muscle. And I didn't directly go to them and say, hey, you should be healthy, you should do this. I changed me, and that changed the world around me. And so Gandhi has that quote, be the change you wish to see. So if you're having the struggles on sales calls or in growing your business or etc., it's gonna begin with yourself, my friend. The second quote is, an ounce of practice is worth more than a ton of preaching. So you
take action, bro.
so take action over just telling people what to do. The third quote that he has is, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win. So get your back and be prepared for what's coming, my friends, because this is the way of the world. You're gonna have your message, you're gonna have your conviction, and you may be in a certain phase of your life right now where you're experiencing challenges, but in the end, you will always win.
So the Gandhi principle is the X factor to the Raging Tiger method that takes you from good to great. It's what helps you start to become an icon. And so there's 4 different parts of the Gandhi principle. So the first part is, what is your message? What do you stand for and what do you stand against? What are you so passionate about that you would sacrifice almost anything to make it happen? Where was the turning point in your life where you had a moment like Gandhi where he got stoned off the train? He said, enough is enough. I'm for social justice, not social injustice. I'm for equality, not racism. And what is that moment for you? What is your message? What is the thing that you're so passionate about that people become drawn to you because you're so influential and passionate about it that people just want to help that message turn into reality? So that's number 1. Number 2 is, what is your secret weapon? what is the how of this process? So for Gandhi, he used fasting and the Salt March and all these other pieces to actually be his secret weapon to help turn this idea into reality. Speeches. What is it for you? What is your mechanism? What is your signature system? What is your process? What are the simple steps that you have distilled down to help anyone in your niche get the result that you promised them? What does that secret weapon look like for you? On to number 3.
So number 3 is being able to amplify your message, right? When you look at Gandhi, if this guy could start with just a few people around him without the internet and grow his movement to millions of people, then it's kind of an excuse to say that you can't build an audience in today's world, considering that we have the internet, right? So today we have Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all these ways to automatically find people who are looking for our core message, who believe what we believe, and we have the ability to impact and influence in order to make the change that we want to see. And so that is number 3, is being able to amplify your message to find the people that you really want to serve. And number 4 is being able to magnify your message. So think about the time where it's either you or yourself, but really someone who was shining to the point where it's like
magnetic.
You're just being around someone and it's bringing out the best in you. I remember going to a Tony Robbins conference and I'm like, oh my God, this guy's literally inspiring millions of people just by being in his presence. Recently, I met a billionaire named Naveen Jain, and it's like only 20 people in the room, but just as I walked in, I could feel the aura, the energy of this man. And that's the power of being magnetic, is just by being in his presence, his message was having an impact on me.
And like we talked about in the first video, the 5th principle of the Raging Tiger method is all about empowerment and your being. This all leads to the magnetic piece of the Gandhi principle.
That's right.
And so for you, like, what are your daily practices? What is the work that you're doing every day to show up so you can be better? Are you meditating? Are you letting go? Are you journaling? Are you doing all these things so you can show up and be magnetic? Are you pumping your state before Facebook Lives, before you get on stage, before you do videos like woo, 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 all that fun stuff. It's no longer about the push, it's about the pull. How do you become so magnetic that people are just drawn and attracted to you and they just love and they just want to be a part of it and they just like are obsessed with it and they want to be part of the message and they become a cult following, they become part of your tribe, and all they do is want to be obsessed and watch your videos. And so that, my friends, is the Gandhi principle. It's all about the message. It's all about the secret weapon. It's all about magnifying and amplifying that message and becoming magnetic so people are just drawn to you and want to be a part of that. So we're so stoked that you guys came through. You've seen all of this. It is so freaking amazing. If you haven't already spoken with us or set a call, we'd love to get feedback. We'd also love to help you find out what is your Gandhi principle, what is your message, what is the thing in the world that you're here to stand for and stand against. What are you here to change? How can you be a change maker, an icon, an influencer? And if you haven't already got there, like, how do you become a 6-figure coach in 60 days? And then how do you become an icon? So that is us. So much love. Anything to finish?
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely it. It's such a beautiful place to be when you realize that you have a dream, you know, and you're able to create it. And these are the exact principles that we use to grow our business, to have an impact in the coaching industry, and now to help you grow yours and your impact. So excited to be able to connect with any of you who feel compelled to be able to apply these in your life and be able to have that true impact and leave a legacy. So if this excites you and if you feel compelled, please schedule a call. We'll be able to help you see where you can apply these in your business, what the focus could be over the next couple months, and how we can help you get there. So appreciate you guys, love you guys. Any next level coaches watching this, we really love you guys. And anything else?
That's it.
Boom!